Emily Chin woke to the sound of Chicago's autumn wind rattling her window. 5:30 in the morning. In the still dark room, she quietly rose from bed. In the next room, her 8-year-old son Ethan was still sound asleep. Emily carefully made her way to the kitchen, trying not to make any noise. As an IT consultant, Emily handled system implementation projects for major corporations. Since losing her husband Michael in a car accident 3 years ago, she had been playing both mother and father roles alone. While Michael's life insurance and her own high income provided financial stability, it also meant expectations and dependence from her family. While brewing coffee, Emily remembered the message that arrived late last night from her mother. "I want to talk about Sophia's business. Do you have time this weekend?" Her mother Linda had been living on her pension since losing her husband 10 years ago, but it wasn't enough. Emily's sister Sophia had divorced 2 years ago and moved back to their mother's house. She ran an online pet supply shop, but Emily had essentially been supporting everything from the business launch to daily operations. Website construction, inventory management system design, digital marketing strategy, Emily had provided it all for free. Sophia's biggest concern was her beloved dog, Bella. The 3-year-old Pomeranian was treated like a human child. A dedicated stroller, designer clothes, grooming twice a week, monthly vet checkups. Despite Sophia's business starting to take off, most of the profits were being spent on Bella. As Emily checked her emails while drinking coffee, Ethan appeared in the kitchen with sleepy eyes. The boy with black hair and gentle eyes inherited from his mother had grown bright and cheerful, overcoming the sadness of losing his father. "Good morning, Mom." "Good morning, Ethan. Did you sleep well?" "Yes. I have my science presentation today. I'm nervous but excited." Ethan was excellent in school, showing particular interest in science. Last weekend he wanted to go to the science museum, but Emily had to go to the bank about her mother's mortgage issues, leaving him home alone. Guilt tightened in her chest. While preparing breakfast, Emily remembered last Christmas. Ethan had prepared handmade gifts for his grandmother and aunt and was looking forward to it. But on Christmas Eve, Sophia called. "Bella caught a cold. I have to take her to the emergency vet." In the end, grandmother went along to the animal hospital too, leaving Emily and Ethan to spend Christmas alone. Ethan said nothing, but that night Emily saw him wiping away tears by himself. On the way to school, Ethan asked quietly, "Mom, will Grandma and Aunt Sophia come to my birthday this time?" Emily looked at her son's hopeful expression. Last year's birthday, and the year before that, they had found excuses not to come. Bella's vaccinations, Bella's contest participation, preparing for Bella's birthday party. It was always because of Bella. "I'm sure they'll come," Emily smiled, but she couldn't feel certain in her heart. When they arrived at school, Ethan headed toward the building, chatting happily with friends. Emily watched her son from the car for a while. If Michael were alive, they would have attended Ethan's school events together and treasured family time more. Now she alone supported everything in her son's world. On the way to the office, Emily's cell phone rang. It was her mother. "Emily, I have a favor to ask. Sophia wants to start a new product line for her online shop. She says she needs a system update." "I understand, Mom. I'll take a look this weekend." "Thank you. You're such a help. Oh, and about next month's mortgage payment, please take care of that too." After hanging up, Emily sighed deeply. When had she become responsible for everyone in the family? When Michael died, her mother had said, "We'll support you." But reality was the opposite. Emily was supporting everyone. And all she wanted in return was for her son to be loved and cherished. While parking at the office, Emily thought about next week's business trip. There was an important presentation in Chicago. The client was considering a major contract, and if this job succeeded, it would be a huge leap for her career. She planned to leave Ethan with her mother during the trip. Emily first worked on Sophia's online shop, Bella's Boutique, a year and a half ago. She wanted to support her sister, who was emotionally unstable right after her divorce. She spent entire weekends building everything from product catalog database design to payment system implementation, all for free. "Emily, you're really a genius," Sophia said, looking at her shop website with satisfaction while holding her new iPhone. "Now I can be independent too." But contrary to her words about independence, Sophia's requests for technical support increased day by day. Image processing for product photos, SEO optimization, social media marketing strategy planning. While Emily's own work was busy, she continued supporting her sister's business using late nights and weekends. "The inventory management system is acting up again," Sophia would call without hesitation even during weekday afternoons. "Can you look at it right now? I have important orders but can't process them." Emily would interrupt important meetings to check the system remotely. The problem was usually simple: Sophia had just made an operating error. But these calls came several times a week. 3 months ago, Sophia's business grew steadily, exceeding $100,000 in monthly sales. But when Emily learned how the profits were being used, she was speechless. "I bought Bella a new bed. A luxurious handmade one. It cost $3,000, but my baby deserves only the best," Sophia said proudly. "And next month, I'm planning a photo shoot for Bella. A professional pet photographer. It's $5,000 per session, but it's a necessary business investment, right?" Around the same time, Emily learned that Ethan was being bullied at school. Classmates called him the kid without a father, and he often ate lunch alone. When his teacher requested family support and Emily consulted her mother, she was refused because it conflicts with Bella's dog park time. Her mother Linda's situation was even more serious. 6 months ago, she had trouble with mortgage payments and came to Emily for help. "The bank people scare me. They're even talking about foreclosure," Linda pleaded through tears. "If you become a cosigner, they said they'd review the payment terms." Emily hesitated. She had her own mortgage and needed to think about Ethan's education costs. But she couldn't imagine her mother losing her house. "All right. But you'll make the payments, Mom." "Of course. I'll pay little by little with my pension." But reality was different. Linda's pension alone was nowhere near enough for the monthly payments, and Emily ended up covering $2,000 every month. $24,000 a year. While depleting Ethan's college savings, Emily continued protecting her mother's house. The problem wasn't just financial. Grandmother and aunt had never once attended any of Ethan's school events. "This Friday is Ethan's school play. Will you come too, Mom?" Emily asked over the phone. "Oh, how unfortunate. That day I have Bella's grooming appointment. It's the special monthly spa course. I can't cancel." "What about next month's science fair? The teacher said Ethan might win an award." "Next month? Let me see, I think Sophia was planning to enter Bella in a dog show. She needs someone to accompany her." Ethan's birthday party became a small gathering with just Emily, her son, and 3 invited classmates. Linda and Sophia were absent due to Bella's vet checkup. Emily later learned that day was actually Bella's birthday photo shoot. "Mom, why do Grandma and them care more about Bella than me?" Ethan asked sadly in front of his cake. Emily was at a loss for words. She didn't know how to explain it to an 8-year-old child. The situation got worse. As Sophia's business took off, her demands escalated. "I want to introduce a new delivery system. It's necessary to stay competitive. I want you to make a mobile app too. Customers are requesting it. I want you to optimize Instagram ad delivery too. I want to double my sales." Emily's weekends were filled with supporting her sister's business, cutting into time with Ethan. Meanwhile, Sophia's words of gratitude gradually decreased, and technical support came to be treated as a natural right. "Big sister, you're good with technology, so this stuff is easy for you, right?" Sophia said lightly. "Doing sales and customer service like me is much harder." The decisive incident happened last month. Ethan fell and got hurt at school, and the school called his grandmother, who was registered as an emergency contact. However, Linda refused to pick him up, saying, "I'm in the middle of Bella's grooming right now." Emily ended up leaving work early to pick him up. The grandmother said, "Leave it to my daughter," and hung up, the school nurse reported with a confused expression. When Emily confronted her mother about this that evening, Linda became defiant. "But Bella's grooming is an important monthly appointment. Ethan's injury wasn't that serious anyway. My son was hurt, Mom. That's more important than dog grooming, isn't it? You don't understand how cute Bella is. That child is the family treasure." Emily was shocked. Was she saying that her sister's dog was more important than her own grandson? The following week, Sophia made a new demand. "I want to expand the online shop. I'm starting a subscription box service just for Bella, so can you create that system too?" "For free, of course." "For free?" Emily couldn't help but ask. "We're family, aren't we? Family helps each other when someone's in trouble. My business is successful because of your technical skills. I'm grateful." It had been a while since she heard the word grateful, but apparently she still had no intention of paying. "I'm using my time too. At least half the market rate." "What? You're asking for money?" Sophia sounded surprised. "You have a high income, don't you?" "I'm just getting started. Besides, you're already paying more than half of Mom's mortgage, and we have no choice but to rely on you." That night, Emily sat alone drinking wine and thinking. When had she become the family's wallet? When had her son become second priority? If Michael were alive, this situation wouldn't have happened. Her husband always put Ethan first and understood Emily's complicated relationship with her family. Emily felt unprecedented anxiety about leaving Ethan with her mother. Tuesday morning, Emily boarded a flight to Chicago. This client was a major pharmaceutical company considering a company-wide IT system overhaul project. If the contract was signed, it would be a major deal worth $5 million over 2 years. This was the most important presentation of Emily's career. "Ethan, be a good boy at Grandma's house," Emily hugged her son before leaving. "I know, Mom. But come back soon." Ethan looked lonely but quickly put on a smile. Linda was in high spirits when she came to pick up her grandson. "Emily, don't worry. I'll have a good time with Ethan. By the way, today is Bella's birthday. Sophia is planning a big party." "A party?" "Yes. Sophia invited 20 of Bella's dog friends. She ordered catering and a professional pet photographer is coming too." "Isn't that amazing?" Emily felt conflicted. They were inviting 20 dogs to a dog's birthday party and ordering catering while they hadn't come to her son's birthday. But now she had to focus on this important business trip. "Please take care of Ethan." Emily checked into her Chicago hotel at 3 p.m. While making final preparations for the next day's presentation, her cell phone rang around 7 p.m. It was an unknown number. "Is this Emily Chen?" "This is the emergency department at the University of Chicago Medical Center." Emily's heart nearly stopped. "Yes, that's me. Your son Ethan Chen was brought by ambulance. He had a febrile seizure due to high fever and is currently receiving treatment in the intensive care unit." "What?" Emily stood up. "What's his condition?" Around 6 p.m., he suddenly developed a high fever of 104 degrees Fahrenheit at his grandmother's house and had a seizure. He lost consciousness and was transported by ambulance. He has regained consciousness now, but detailed tests are needed." Emily's hands were shaking. "I'm coming there right now." The grandmother said, "Leave it to my daughter," and did not accompany him for transport. "Your child is currently alone." The moment she hung up, Emily called her mother. "Mom, I got a call that Ethan was taken to the hospital." "What happened?" "Oh, Emily," Linda's voice was strangely calm. "Yes, he suddenly got a fever and it was terrible. But the hospital people said he was fine." "Fine?" "He's in intensive care." "Why didn't you go with him?" "But today is Bella's 3rd birthday party," irritation crept into Linda's voice. Sophia invited 20 friends, ordered catering, and a professional photographer is coming. We can't cancel. So much money is involved. Emily couldn't believe her ears. My son lost consciousness and was taken by ambulance. That's more important than a dog's birthday party, isn't it? Can't you wait until you get back? There are nurses at the hospital. Besides, Bella's special birthday is only today. Emily was speechless. Her mother was prioritizing a dog's birthday party while her grandson might be fighting for his life. Fine. I'm going. You're going? Don't you have that important meeting tomorrow? My son is more important. But if you fail at that meeting, it will affect your income. That affects our lives too. Ethan is safe at the hospital, isn't he? Emily hung up. She couldn't believe her mother's words. Now she called Sophia. Sophia, do you know about Ethan? Oh, big sister. Yes, I heard he got a little fever. But we're right in the middle of Bella's party. Look, she's playing with her dog friends and having such a good time. Dog barking and adults' laughter could be heard in the background. Ethan is in intensive care. He lost consciousness. Really? That's terrible. But the hospital people are there, so he'll be fine, right? By the way, the professional photographer is taking pictures of Bella. I'll send them to you later. I can't believe you people. What's with that tone? We're worried too. But today is Bella's special day. It only comes once a year. Ethan goes to school every day, but this is just today for Bella. Emily hung up and immediately called the airline. There were 3 hours until the last flight. She changed her flight and contacted the client to postpone the meeting due to an emergency. On the plane, Emily spoke with the attending physician. Regarding your son's condition, in addition to febrile seizures due to high fever, we cannot rule out the possibility of meningitis. The doctor's voice was serious. We'll have detailed test results tomorrow morning, but tonight he needs observation in intensive care. Meningitis? Emily's voice trembled. It's one possibility. Based on the symptoms, it's likely viral, but we've started antibiotic treatment just in case. Please come as soon as possible. On the airplane, Emily couldn't stop crying. While her son was alone in the hospital, her family was enjoying a dog's birthday party. Beyond anger, she felt emptiness at this abnormal situation. At 11 p.m., Emily arrived at the hospital. The moment she saw Ethan in intensive care, her heart felt like it would break. Multiple 4 tubes were connected to his small body, and monitors displayed his heart rate. He was conscious but listless with a pale complexion. Mom, Ethan called weakly. Ethan, Mommy's here. Emily held her son's hand. It's going to be okay, now. Where's Grandma? Emily was at a loss for words. She couldn't say that she had prioritized a dog's birthday party. Grandma is waiting at home. A nurse approached. Ma'am, your son has been very brave by himself. He kept saying, I'll be patient until Mommy comes. That night, Emily didn't sleep a wink in the hospital room. Sitting beside her son's bed, she reflected on the past 3 years. In her grief over losing her husband, she had expected family support. But reality was that she unilaterally supported the family. Her mother's mortgage, her sister's business, and the lack of love for her son. At 6 a.m., the doctor appeared with test results. Good news. It's not meningitis. It was a viral high fever. The antibiotics worked and his fever is coming down. Really? Yes. He should be able to go home this afternoon. Emily shed tears of relief. But at the same time, she felt something in her heart had changed decisively. At 7 a.m., her cell phone rang. It was Sophia. Big sister, is Ethan okay? Yesterday's party was a huge success. Bella was so happy. Emily didn't answer the phone. Her mother called next, but she didn't answer that either. At 10 a.m., Emily left the hospital and went to a nearby law office. There was a sign she had noticed before, Family Law Specialist, emergency consultations accepted. 2 hours later, Emily returned to the hospital with 3 documents. At 3 p.m., just after Ethan finished his discharge procedures, Emily photographed the 3 documents with her smartphone and sent them to the family group chat. Soon her cell phone started ringing. It was a call from her mother. Emily ignored the phone and held Ethan's hand. Her son still looked tired, but his fever was completely gone. "Mom, are we going home?" "Yes, Ethan. We're going to our new home." 5 minutes later, the phone rang again. This time it was Sophia. Emily hung up and set the ringer to silent. More than 10 messages had already arrived in the group chat, but she had no desire to read them. On the way home, Emily explained to her son. "Ethan, Mommy made an important decision. We're going to start a new life in a new place." "With Grandma and Aunt Sophia too?" "No. Just us. But don't worry. Mommy will protect you." Ethan nodded quietly. The 8-year-old seemed to understand that something big had changed. When they arrived home, there were 23 messages on the answering machine. The first message was from her mother. "Emily, this must be some mistake, right? Answer the phone. Explain right away." By the 10th message, her mother's voice was shaking. "Please, Emily. What did we do wrong? If it's about the mortgage, let's talk. But sending documents like this." The 15th message was Sophia's crying voice. "Big sister, please. If the business stops, I can't survive. I can't pay for Bella's medical bills either. Tell me what you didn't like. I'll apologize." In the last message, her mother was completely hysterical. "Emily, the bank called. They said next month's payment can't be made. I'll lose my house. Is it okay if your mother ends up on the streets?" Emily deleted the messages without listening to the end. After putting Ethan to bed, she reread copies of the 3 documents she had sent. The first was a legal separation notice. Created by a lawyer, it formally notified the cessation of all financial support and technical assistance going forward. The second was a notice to cancel her cosigner status for the mortgage. The lawyer had already negotiated with the bank, and Emily's responsibility as cosigner was officially cancelled. The third was a notice to shut down Sophia's online shop, Bella's Boutique Systems. It stated that access to all systems Emily had built would be terminated at noon the following day. At 11 p.m., the doorbell rang. Looking through the peephole, she saw her mother and Sophia standing there. Both were crying. Emily didn't open the door. "Emily, please. Let's talk," her mother's voice came through the door. "What did we do wrong?" Sophia also pleaded through tears. "If it's about yesterday, I'll apologize. But you don't have to do something this cruel." Emily spoke through the intercom speaker. "It's not just about yesterday. For 3 years, I can't stand how you've treated my son anymore. Ethan is our grandson," her mother argued. "We love him." "Love him?" Emily's voice shook with anger. "When my son lost consciousness and was taken to the hospital, you prioritized a dog's birthday party. That's love?" "But Bella is family too," Sophia said tearfully. "If a dog is family, what is my son?" "Don't say that," her mother pleaded. "We're family, aren't we? We share blood." "Sharing blood and being family are different things," Emily said clearly. "Real family supports each other in times of trouble. They don't just use each other one-sidedly." The two continued pleading in front of the door for nearly an hour, but Emily remained unmoved. Finally, her mother said in a desperate voice. "Emily, we were wrong. But if we lose the house, what will happen to us? That's your problem. For 3 years, I've supported the entire family alone. I'm tired now." The next morning, Emily applied for vacation time at work and visited a real estate agent. By afternoon, she had found a new house in a small town out of state. Her IT consulting work allowed remote work, so she could continue in the new environment. At lunch, her mother called again. Emily, the bank people came. They said if we don't pay in full by next month, it will be foreclosed. That's your problem, Mom. But we're mother and daughter. Won't you help us? When my son was suffering alone in the hospital, you prioritized a dog's party. Is that a mother-daughter relationship? I made a wrong judgment at that time. But bringing that up now. It's not now. For 3 years, you've put my son second. That's enough. At 3 p.m., a desperate message arrived from Sophia. Big sister, all the systems are down. I can't process orders. Customers are complaining like crazy. Please, restore them. Emily didn't reply. In the evening, the lawyer called. Ms. Chen, someone claiming to represent your mother and sister contacted us. They seem to want a settlement. A settlement? Yes. They want to consider some compromise regarding your mother's mortgage and your sister's business. I decline. Please proceed with everything as planned. That night, Ethan asked Emily. Mom, won't Grandma and Aunt Sophia come anymore? They won't come. Did I do something bad? Emily hugged her son. You didn't do anything wrong. Mommy just protected what she needed to protect. In our new house, will someone come to my birthday? Of course. People who truly love you will come. Over the weekend, Emily visited the new town and toured the elementary school Ethan would attend. The principal was warm and accepted the transfer without asking detailed reasons for the move. Ma'am, I heard your son is good at science. There's a state science contest next month. Would you like him to participate? Really? Ethan will be delighted. After returning home, Emily told Ethan about the contest. Her son's eyes lit up. Mom, I'll do my best. Daddy will be watching from heaven, right? Of course. Daddy is always watching over you. That night, Emily looked at her husband's photo and thought, Michael, if you were alive, I wouldn't have needed to make such a decision. But now, I have to protect our son. I've learned that love is more important than blood ties. The next morning, Emily contacted movers and arranged the relocation. A new life was about to begin. 3 months later, on a certain morning, Emily was brewing coffee in the kitchen of her new house, gazing out the window at the scenery. Greenfield, a small town in Vermont, was the complete opposite of Chicago's hustle and bustle. In the backyard, Ethan was playing happily with neighborhood children. Mom, look. Ethan ran in with an excited voice. I won first place in the state science contest. Emily hugged her son. That's wonderful, Ethan. Daddy is rejoicing in heaven too. Looking at the certificate hanging on the wall, Emily felt genuinely proud. At his new school, Ethan was demonstrating his true talents and had made many friends. His teacher, Mrs. Miller, properly evaluated her son's abilities and provided various learning opportunities. In the afternoon, Emily's cell phone rang from an unfamiliar number. When she answered, it was an acquaintance from her former town. Emily, I heard about your mother and sister. They lost their house and moved to a small apartment. Is that right? Emily wasn't particularly surprised. Your mother started working part-time at a nursing home. Sophia started working at a local pet shop. But Bella's medical expenses are mounting, and their debt is apparently terrible. I see. Won't you really come back? Your family, after all. Emily answered quietly. We've already started a new life. As long as Ethan is happy, that's all that matters. After dinner, Ethan asked Emily a question. Mom, did Grandma and them really care more about Bella than me? Emily sat next to her son. Ethan, family isn't just about blood relations. Real family means people who are there for you when it matters most. When you were sick, Grandma and them didn't come. But your new school teachers and the Johnsons next door truly worry about you, don't they? Yes. Mrs. Miller gave me a get-well card when I caught a cold. Mr. Johnson lends me science books. That's real family. Family connected by love, not blood. After thinking it over, Ethan nodded slightly. Mom, I'm much happier now. Hearing those words, Emily was convinced her decision had been right. The following week, Emily began volunteering at the local library. She started classes teaching computers to children, with Ethan helping too. Life in the new community was fulfilling. A month later, the lawyer made his final contact. Ms. Chen, contact from your mother and others has completely stopped. All legal procedures are complete. Thank you. Finally, to confirm, will you continue to refuse all contact going forward? Emily thought briefly before answering. Yes. I want to protect our new life. When spring came, Emily and Ethan created a small vegetable garden in the backyard. While planting tomato and carrot seeds, Ethan said, Mom, our family is small, but it's very strong. That's right. Even with just two of us, love is enough. Daddy is here too. In our hearts. Emily teared up. That's right. Daddy is always with us. At dusk, mother and son walked home hand in hand. In their distant former home, their former family might be in difficult circumstances. But Emily no longer looked back. Having learned what true family means, she was determined to walk a new path of life with her son. Inside the house, while Ethan did his homework beside her, Emily quietly spoke to her husband's photograph. Michael, we're walking the right path. Our son is growing up surrounded by people who truly love him. I've learned that heart connections are much more important than blood connections. Outside the window, people in the new town lit warm lights, welcoming a peaceful night. Emily and Ethan's new life was quietly but surely taking root.